In your book, you have written about the Kashmir four-step solution, as it was known. What perhaps is not known to most people is that India and Pakistan had even considered signing a peace treaty between them. Tell us a bit about this.
Yes. You see, we realized that both the countries, the rulers and administrators, had read a lot of European history. You know, we used to think of Germany and France and the treaty between them. I think, what was it? The Paris Treaty? What was it called?
The Paris, yeah. No, Vietnam.
No. There was another name for it.
The hotel.
No. Between Germany and France. Okay, so that was the model. So he said, if Germany and France, after that treaty, the entire paradigm shifted. So much so that at the end of 40 years, you have a serious attempt at writing a common book of history which German and the French students will study. Common history. Why can't it happen in Pakistan and India? You have to change the paradigm. So we said when issues, previously Pakistan had been offering it to India, India had been offering it to Pakistan, Ayub had offered to Nehru, Nehru had offered to Ayub, in different words. Nothing came about. It's only we realized when this issue was out of the way, we were ready to sign that peace treaty. That was the crowning glory. Security of peace, friendship and something, cooperation between the two countries. That would have changed the dynamic completely. It would change the paradigm. And if you come so near, that is why my confidence doesn't dwindle. Because I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the Pakistan army. I've seen the intelligence sitting on the same table, giving arguments. How can those arguments change? They cannot change. Because that depends on realpolitik, ground reality. Ground realities have not changed in the last 2 years. So, if you have any statements coming from your side, you can rest assured, within a few hours there will be a statement from the other side.
And do you think, conversely, that if both sides start to speak about peace, they can actually reach where you and India reached?
In fact, I go on to predict that they have no option. Because there's nothing new they can do. What can they do? They can't go to war. They can't send another million troops on the border for a year. What will they do? Any sensible person will tell them, what does India want? And what is Pakistan's major importance? India wants access into Central Asia. India is a big country. Pakistan's geostrategic importance is what's always kept it in the news. We are the bridge between South, Central and West Asia. I write in my book, we are a bridge to nowhere because we have blocked that bridge. We have denied ourselves of that leverage, the importance that our location provides us. I also know that under the current circumstances, no government in Pakistan can afford to do it. But if we had done what we were doing, the next logical step would have been to actually become the bridge that we are. India would gain, India would have access, and look at the potential. Pakistan, China, India, Russia, Central Asia. This is half the world's population. 3 out of the 5 declared nuclear powers. 4 of the 5 declared, or 4 of the 7 declared nuclear powers. And their economic potential is vast. Why do we deny ourselves this? This is in our mutual interest. So why can't they see? I'm sure they can see. But unfortunately, when negativity takes hold of people, whether they're human beings or diplomats, whether even in their marriages or in their foreign policy, nothing works. You try and change negativity and very soon realize that things begin to change for the better.
It all hinges essentially, the 4-step, when you speak about it, and what you were saying, that one solution that will lead.
By the way, it's 9 or 10. 4, I don't accept the word 4. Yes, 4 is the framework. And then there are things which are very important which can prevent a future war in Pakistan and India. For example, under joint mechanism, I have mentioned water cooperation as a separate thing because the US Senate has predicted that a future war between Pakistan and India will be over water, and I can admit it, 65 to 70% of Pakistanis still live in rural areas. If you deny them water, it's an existential threat.
That's going to be the thing. But Kashmir remains for the moment the most important issue as far as Pakistan is concerned. According to what was suggested, it would seem that the LOC would essentially become the international border. Is that something you think would be acceptable on the Pakistani side? Because in India, the feeling is that Pakistan would never.
As I come back to the framework, it was impossible initially to reconcile India's position, Pakistan's position, the Kashmiris and Indian occupied Kashmir. We worked for 3 years, not to fall into such traps as to say, what would have happened is, when the Indians said no borders change, we said then the border will not exist. They said, what do you mean? I said, for Kashmiris, there is no border. There are no passports or visas. It's just a line on the map. So why play with words? Let's not give negative headlines to anybody in Pakistan or India. Let's look at the positive side. So Pakistan achieved what it wanted. With a joint mechanism, Pakistan, India and Kashmir did two things. We were able to sell it to, we hoped we'll be able to sell it to people of Pakistan by saying, no, we're not accepting just status quo. And what is the bigger thing? The bigger thing, Pakistan and India sitting across the table in a cooperative mode in the joint mechanism with two Kashmiris there on both sides. We would change our thought patterns in a spirit of cooperation. We'll be looking at it not as the other as the devil, the other as the enemy, out to outdo each other and hurting the other. So that would have taught something new in the joint mechanism. So there's a lot of positivity. So why should we focus on India wanted this, Pakistan wanted? If I put it in that line, I could easily say, we achieved this, but I'm not going to say what we achieved because the unwritten agreement was don't proclaim victory.
All right. But even so, even if this was such a great solution, no Pakistani government has been willing to take ownership of it since then. Not the governments under Mr. Zardari and certainly not Mr. Sharif. Why is that?
First of all, very interesting. Mr. Zardari, if you recollect, the then foreign minister said he knew nothing about it. I made sure, by the way, within 24 or 48 hours of leaving office, to make sure that Zardari was briefed. And he was briefed. It was reported to me. So what was the result? Very strange. You have his oath-taking ceremony, President Karzai standing next to him, and he's saying the nation will soon have good news. By God, without even talking to the government of India, the nation will soon have good news. Why was he saying that? Because he had been briefed. And then it was not repeated again that they didn't know. Because I made sure that the foreign minister was also briefed. I had assumed that the president himself would brief the foreign minister at that time. So when you say they're not prepared to take ownership, that is the nature of politics. And what I see in this book is they can turn on their head, you cannot reinvent the wheel. All you can do is para 1 will become 3, 7 will become 9. You can't because it's just 3 years. And it's not the agreement with Nawaz Sharif, it's not the agreement with Musharraf and Manmohan Singh. It is the agreement between two establishments. Because I saw the people who were sitting on the table. Can I believe that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh didn't have similar people sitting on his table? How is it possible that he was not consulting his army and RAW or whatever the centers of power in India are? It is unthinkable that he was not consulting the relevant people.